Welcome back to Garage 512, everybody. And it is the day before my big day at the Circuit of the Americas. I'll be on this track tomorrow for my very first performance driving education course, HPDE road course. So I'm going to have probably 2 instructors with me. I know there are 2 25-minute track sessions for the beginner class. That's me. I'm Blue. I'll be doing several of these because honestly, that car scares me, and it's a healthy fear right now. I've had almost no butt time in this car. I just drove it back from Houston, from LMR. It sounds angry, like pissed off kind of angry. Like I'm pretty sure this car and me are tuned in because it realizes, like I realize, that it's been sitting in a garage somewhere since May, since I got it for like Mother's Day weekend. And it has been doing much of nothing but waiting for the new motor and waiting for somebody to drive the damn thing. So we're here. I had just enough time to get here, do this quick little video for my intro. Tomorrow, I got to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, try to get up here for like 6 a.m. We'll see how that works out. I'm not a morning person. But that's the plan. I still need to swap out tires and wheels. I've got, you know, I'm going to run this car on the stock wheels with the stock tires for this track. And then the Apex wheels with the, like I've got it set up currently, the Apex wheels with the Toyo tires. That's what's going to be running for everyday use. So I need to get that done. But yeah, not a lot of butt time in this car. Don't expect a lot of fast driving. I'm still getting used to the car. I'm going to be listening to the instructors and trying not to look at all the damn gauges that I put on it. So let's see how this goes. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully the mics work. They've been kind of cutting in and out inside the car. I know it's having to do with the Wi-Fi. I haven't had a lot of time to troubleshoot it. So if I'm having mic issues tomorrow, I'll try to correct some of it in post, turn up the volume and whatnot, but it's probably not going to be best because I'm rushed and I didn't get the car back to Austin in time to really do all the stuff that I need to do. So apologize for that. This will not be my only track session. I'll be back for several more. So stay tuned and enjoy the track footage.
The next day.
We're going to go out the back of the grid, so there's cars behind us and we don't want to back up on pit lane, so we're going to wait till they pull away and then we'll join the tail. This is a manual, awesome! So what we'll do is, since you're new, I'm just going to focus on the line. I'm going to teach you the line, or start learning the line. It'll take more than, you know, 1 session to learn the line, I promise you. Tell me your name again?
Daryl.
Daryl, okay. My name's right here on my helmet, I'm Danny.
Danny, gotcha.
How long have you had this baby?
I literally just picked it up. It's a long story, but I just picked it up yesterday because I had a new race motor put in.
Oh, wow.
It's a 454 stroker. Okay. And LMR did the work, and I literally picked it up yesterday and drove it here.
Wow, okay.
And it's really late because I should have had the car a week ago.
Yeah. That's the way it is with anything to do with track cars.
Yeah.
Always. You know, race cars are usually only ready 5 minutes before the race.
Lovely.
While we're learning the line, let's just take it nice and easy. There's no need to push super hard,
okay.
Because in order to go fast, you need to know the line.
Absolutely.
So we'll work on that. I have a standard script I do with everybody before I go on track with them for the first time, so I'm just going to do it with you. So I have 3 jobs, 2 hobbies. Job 1 is to keep me safe. Job 2 is to keep you safe. Job 3 is to keep everybody else safe. And then my hobbies are to help you learn and help you have fun. So what we're going to focus on for this session is just learning the line. And to do that, we're going to try and do big, wide, sweeping turns, because that's how you carry speed through the corners. We'll use all of the track. We're going to touch the edge of the track a lot. I will never touch your wheel, but I will point where I want you to be, and I'll talk you through it. Help me help you. If I'm doing something that's hurting, let me know. If I'm doing something that's helping, let me know and I'll do more of it. The track is 20 corners but really there's only, you know, a handful of really hard ones. Most of it's really obvious, like turn one's really obvious. When we go on track, as we go up the hill, there's a white line on our right. I can see it from here, but the black car's probably blocking it for you. So that's the blend line. We are not allowed to cross that line. We can get it right up to it, but we can't cross it. There's a marshal post in the behind the fence at the top of the hill there that will black flag us if we cross the blend line. It's a safety tool. There are, I didn't count them, but there's like 12 marshals out on track. You don't need to worry about them today. You're gonna have your hands full just learning the track, but I'll point some of them out to you as we go around, and we'll just work on the line.
Okay. And apex, turning into the apex, is that like when? I guess you'll tell me.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a 3-2-1 for braking and a 3-2-1 for turning. And hopefully we won't be pushing super hard, so that it'll be a little bit easier.
Okay.
And you want to try and be smooth. You want to try and, you know, if you turn in from the edge of the track and you touch the apex and you go all the way to track out, then you can take a big wide circle, and you can do it by being really smooth. And if you do it right, you don't need to turn the wheel that much. So we're trying to avoid jerkiness. You will have jerkiness. You will not be smooth at the beginning. That's okay. But you know, I'm going to try and help you figure it out.
Awesome. Should I have all the nannies on?
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're not. I think it's fine to leave them on. I will not tell you to turn them off. That's your decision, because I don't want to be in a lawsuit where I have to explain to your widow why I told you to turn off traction control. That's going to be totally your decision.
Yeah,
I recommend leaving them on and then waiting until they're actually interfering with your driving before you turn them off. You need to know. You need to be able to tell me the traction control did this, and you know, this is how it hurt me. You know, you need to be able to understand why the aid kicked in before you can turn it off. Because if you don't know why it was helping, you know, if it just magically intervenes, then you're not ready to turn it off yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, I totally agree.
It looks like everything's moving really slow speed here.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we're working on the line. We're going to focus on driving the line.
And how much time? Like, we're like only getting like two loops around.
We might only get 1 or 2 laps because it's so late in the session.
And then when does the second one start?
I don't remember. I don't have the schedule memorized, but usually it's about an hour.
Okay, that gives me time.
Because they're about 20-minute sessions, and then there'll be. This is a blue session. There'll be a white session, a yellow session, a purple session, red session, and then blue will be up again. So there'll be, you know, full length 20-minute sessions. Okay, check the traffic. See anything? We check anyway. You want to be more to the right. When you cross the line, but you want to be more over to the right, because you want to approach this corner from the edge. You want to turn more, and then less. Because all of the trucks swing to the left. Then start gentle turn here. You want to touch it about 2/3 of the way around. Touch it. Touch the right edge of the track about 2/3 of the way around. Carry this path. Carry your knee, keep turning, and then turn in for 3 now.
Okay.
Want to touch it? It's okay to touch it. Change direction. Yeah, okay. Turn a little late. Touch it. Right about the apex is right here. Straight. And then out a little bit. And then turn from out here. Turn. Smooth. Turn. Touch it on the edge. Carry this path. You want to get to the right side of the track. So that you can change direction for 7. You want to be a lot further over on the right. And turn just enough to get your right wheels to the rumble here. You want to hug the right side of the track up this hill. Hug it. You're going too fast. You weren't able to hug it because you were going too fast. Change direction. All the way out to the right side of the track. Yeah, stay in straight line. You see the house in the distance when that dips below the bridge. Now you turn in. Yeah, smooth. You're still street driving. All the way to the right side of the track. You see those white lines?
Yeah.
So the start of the grass, the second white line, and the last white line are the visual references that we use for braking. Brake in a straight line, brake. You're too fast, much too fast. Slow down. You got it. Yeah. And sorry, we'll figure it out. On the right side of the truck, stay on the right. So this is the back straightaway. Get the braking zone. Look at the numbers on the fence. Yeah, you really do have to turn it on a little bit. Maybe turn it up. Okay, how's that? Okay, you see the numbers on the fence? So there's white lines on the edge of the track that correspond to the numbers. You want to brake in a straight line at the right side of the track. Brake more. turn it from here. Touch it.
Touch it.
Touch the apex and then straighten the wheel, straighten the wheel. Oh, no, too much power. You got on it too aggressively. Left edge, see that white line? That's our reference. Brake here.
Right here.
And then turn more, and then smoothly open the wheel, smoothly add a little bit of power. Yeah, keep turning, and then you see that orange square in the distance? Point the car at that orange square on the fence.
Oh yeah, right there. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then turn it from here, turn harder, turn harder, turn harder, and then straighten it, straighten it, straighten it, straighten it. You're getting out the power too aggressively, too jerky, too hit. Turn it from here in 3, 2, 1. Now, smooth. Don't turn. You got it. Smooth. And yeah. Touch it here. And just carry this line. Straight. Small adjustments on the wheel. Small adjustments. Yeah, keep this line. When you get close to the right side, you want to straighten it. See that white line? Brake just before it. Right here, you turn in. Turn in just after it.
Faster?
No, turn in just after it. Oh, and it's all the way out to the right edge of the track. You see that pathway? That's our braking reference. We're braking 3, 2, 1 now. And turn in. And then smoothly open the wheel, straighten the wheel, straighten the wheel, smoothly on power. Go. Moving your hands on the wheel too much, and you need to get your right hand back to the wheel a lot more quickly from the rear lever. You want to be all the way at the right edge of the track. You can see how close these guys are to the edge of the track.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be. You want to be all the way at the edge. Use the lines for braking reference. Because we're going slow, we'll brake a lot later. But you want to brake here, and then turn it from the crest of this hill, and then touch the apex.
Oh, the apex is there.
No, the apex was right there.
Oh, okay.
Apex is the point of the corner, all the way over, and then touch it. Touch the right side of the track, about 2/3 of the way around. And keep turning. Keep turning, and then go straight. Turn in for 3 and 3, 2, 1. Now touch it, and turn in. Nope, late turn in. You missed it. You want to touch it. Touch this.
Okay.
Go straight. Straighten the car. Go straight. Yeah. Touch the right edge. Go out a little deeper. Turn from the middle. Here. Turn. 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 Touch the right edge of the track. Keep turning. Touch the right edge of the track, and then change direction. Touch 7. Let's turn 7. You got to slow it down a little bit more this time so you can hug the right hand side of the track. We're still too fast. Still too fast. You're not able to hug the right side of the track. You want to be all the way over to the right edge of the track. All the way out to the right side.
Okay.
Okay, you see the house in the distance?
Yeah.
When the house dips below the bridge, now is when you turn in. And you can touch that. I'm smelling rubber here. All the way out to the right edge. Okay, it's a checkered flag. So there's a tire rubbing. Got a tire rubbing thing.
Oh.
Yeah, turn hard, harder, turn harder, and straighten it, straighten it, straighten it, straighten it, straighten it. Don't get on the power until you imagine there's a piece of string tied between the steering wheel and the throttle. You can't get on the power without straightening the wheel. You have to straighten the wheel to get on the power.
Okay.
Right? No passing under checkered. So we're under checkered flag conditions. So let's just finish the lap here. Let's keep going. I think I'm smelling rubber. I think there's something wrong. We'll talk about the beginning. See the flag? And you want to be all the way at the edge. Turning from here. Now, turn, turn, turn. And then start to straighten the wheel smoothly open. Smoothly. You're smoothly open the wheel. Smoothly get on the power all the way over to the left. See that white line? Brake just after the white line. Here. Here. Yeah, and then turning from here.
Smooth.
Harder turn. Yeah. When I say harder, smoothly add more steering angle. Yeah, that's good. Keep turning like this. Keep turning like this. And then point the car at that orange square in the distance. And then brake in a straight line here. Go out deeper, and then turn from out here. Turn, turn, turn. Get your hand back on the wheel. Swing to the left, all the way over. You don't have to brake here, but you can lift if you want. Turn it in 3, 2, 1 now. Smooth. Turn it a little too aggressively, so we're on the wrong line. It'll come. Relax. Yeah, you carry this line. Yeah, and then just keep turning, and it'll get you all the way. Get you all the way to the right. You straightened. You want to brake here. Turn in from here. And now we're going into the pit, so just keep turning. Please. bit left. Okay, so we only got 2 laps. We got to work on it a little bit, so we can talk about it when we get out of the car. So when we were on the second lap, when we were going through the S's, I smelled rubber.
I smell rubber now. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's.
It's you.
It's not.
Yeah, it's you. I've done this. I've done thousands of laps here, so I know, you know, if you can smell it, it's your car.
Okay.
And I think you might have a tire rub. So let's just, when we get out of the car, we'll have a look and see. And that's a hazard if we do. I mean, it's potentially okay, but I mean, you could blow a tire, and that's a big problem. So we need to figure out if we have a tire rub. Okay. If your car just came from having work done to it and they modified things,
Yeah.
it's entirely possible they didn't, you know, they missed this. So you're a complete novice, no offense.
Yeah.
You're doing things, you're driving like it's on the street. You just don't know how to drive on track.
Correct.
And that's okay. But we can work on that. Still park it wherever you were parked. I'm going to turn off the indicator.
I parked here, actually. I don't know where my chair is. Oh, they moved it.
Awesome. Good job. All right, let's get your helmet off. Let's get out and have a look at the car. Yeah, you've got a piece of the inside of the wheel arches. There's a piece of plastic on the that's
Piece of plastic? Okay, I'm back at COTA for the second session. I don't know how much of this is getting picked up because the car is so loud. But let's see what's what. Hey, Danny.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm Jeff. You need an instructor?
Oh, Jeff. Hey. I had Danny out, but I thought you were Danny. Sorry.
Oh, they asked me to jump in.
I appreciate it.
Did you use one of these last time?
I did. It
right.
had a big
You know
old
the
thing
drill.
going up to the ear. Seatbelt is not on. Okay.
Get started, so these screws on up.
This clutch is so. It's a brand new clutch, and it's literally brand new.
Break in the right way.
I guess so. How long does it take to break in a clutch?
So many miles, I think. Depends on the chance of clearing out a little bit more, so that way if you don't monitor traffic lights.
Stay in.
Stop down here at the end. You're going to check them right down here at the end. Show them your wristband and you're on it. Stop right here. So white line is where we want definitely slick out here. Sure, damn. when we get to the red and white, we'll start turning. Very nice. Just keep it here and add that higher gear next time. right there.
That is the
bottom
apex.
corner. Apex is on the inside.
Okay.
This is an apex.
Okay.
Straight to the screen, straight to the screen.
Oh yeah, that's great. Gotcha.
The apex is down here. It's horizontal.
Like my 8 was the apex.
Okay, so we're done. I am back at home and I am recording the outro from here because there was just so much going on that day. I figured I needed to get back to the house in a nice quiet space with the car in the garage and kind of talk through some of the things that I learned. Number one is I ain't ready. That car is a handful. And I knew that going into it. Like I was going to be the weak link, okay? This is sort of, call this part one of Mod the Driver, okay? That car is way more than I can handle. It's way more than a lot of people can handle, but it's my dream car. I will skill up, right? I will level up to its capabilities. I will tell you right now, every time I drive that car, from the time I got it back from LMR, driving it from Houston to Austin, to, driving it here in Austin for a little bit, going to the track, not in that order because I actually went to the track. Driving the track was my first time really driving the car outside of just driving it, from Houston to Austin. So admittedly, I didn't get a lot of butt time in this car like I had hoped for, and that's a whole nother story. I might even talk about it. But basically, I got back to Austin so late that I had to really scramble. I needed to swap out all 8 wheels and tires. I had a lot of shit to do, okay? When I had the car at LMR, I had the stock wheels, which were the chrome wheels with the Toyo tires, these guys. But that's not my track setup. The track setup is the stock tires with the stock wheels. The street driving is the Apex wheels, which are much lighter, R-compound, R888s, the Toyo tires. That combination is what I drive on the street with. And so I had some folks, counsel me on that particular setup. And I will tell you, it doesn't seem intuitive because you would think you would want, R-compound type tires on a track like COTA because it's, it's a racetrack. It's, it's properly treated and all that stuff too. But actually, their advice was actually pretty sound. And I can tell you, after driving the track with stock tires, okay, with 325s on the rear, right, and 295s up front, but just the regular stock tires, no R-compound stuff, it was plenty sufficient. In fact, I can't really tell you that I spun out at all. Maybe the car makes a ton of torque, which is why I wanted a stroker motor, okay? Yeah, I could have made a lot more horsepower by putting on a BTR intake and run, up to, what does it make? Car makes basically 630 of the tires. That car with the other intake on, BTR intake, would probably make another 30, 660 probably. But then I'd probably be only making 510, 520 at the tires. Who knows? But I'm going to put some more butt time at the track and get a feel for, do I need to tone the torque down? But even at COTA on stock tires, I can't say that it spun the tires. That treated track with the non-treated tires worked really well, which is exactly what my friend suggested. Now, driving on the street with stock tires, it's fun, but what they say, spinning ain't winning. I'm not getting shit for traction with the stock tires. It was fun, but I'm sliding all over the freaking place. The Toyo tires on the street with these Apex wheels works perfectly. Now, yeah, it still spins and it's still a hell of a lot of fun to drive, but not nearly so much wheel spin that I was getting with stock tires. That said, it was perfectly capable on stock wheels and stock tires at COTA. So, I basically need to learn this car. If you noticed probably from the video, I let off the gas a lot. Now, mind you, I'm trying to focus on a lot of things, mostly the instructor, right? I'm trying, I'm not even looking for the other cars. That's how focused I am. Focused on what's in front of me, where the turns are, and I'm nervous because I'm like, is he going to tell me to brake here or there? I had 2 different instructors, but I was really kind of insecure about when to brake, and I knew they were going to tell me, but I didn't know when they were going to tell me, and I'm not real comfortable with the car yet, so I was not going super fast. Even when I could on the long straightaway, I was probably still just south of 130. So
like my draggy 60 to 130 times are not going to be accurate because I let off quite a bit because I was unsure where to brake. And you know, there's some spots on the track where you can't see what's in front of you because you've got this hump, right? And so you can only see up to a point, and then you get to the the bump, and you come down, and then boom, there everything is. So yeah, it was a learning experience, and I'm going to be doing quite a few of these HPDE events. This was my first one. There were a number of lessons that I learned from this experience, and I'm going to go through a couple of those right now. Some of my takeaways from my track experience. Number one, bring one of those storage bins. I've got plenty of these storage bins that I got from Lowe's, you know, the big wide ones with the lid on top. Instructors suggested bringing those and putting my tools and all that stuff in it. I did not do that. I know better for next time, but I was wondering, like, what do I do with my impact driver, my torque wrench, you know, my other stuff, you know, that I might need, right? Where do I put all that stuff? Now I know I need to make sure that I bring that tub with those tools and duct tape. I do now have duct tape in the back of the trunk because, you know, shit happens at the track, and as you saw, some of the inner underliner came out and was rubbing, and that's what we were smelling on the track. I think that happened when I hit the side of the track like they wanted me to, but you know, I think the car's just a little bit too low in the back. So yeah, storage bins. Bring a storage bin, put your stuff there, I put it next to my chair. There's like, no one's gonna mess with it, everyone's got their own stuff. Trailer would be nice, but that's a shit ton of money. So bring the chair, bring the storage bin, put all my stuff in it. That's a fact. That's number one. Number two is to leave my wireless mics in the car, because I had my wireless mics in my camera bag and my buddy was taking video from outside of the car, but I gave him the camera bag and the mics were in the camera bag. So the reason why the audio doesn't sound so good is because I'm using the mic on the cameras themselves. And I turned up the volume on it, you know, but, you know, mostly what you're going to hear is the car, which, you know, I think is kind of the fun part anyway. But if you could hear any of the driver lessons that he's explaining to me, wonderful. But I didn't want to make it too loud. But that's on me. Like I said, first time at the track with this car and videoing and doing all the things. So now I will make sure I remember to keep my mics in the car and then put these mics on the seat belt. That way, me and the instructor can both be heard without having to rely on the internal mics of the cameras. So that was useful. So that's kind of thing two. Thing three, I ran out of storage. Okay, I would hit record and then just let it ride, right? So I figure I'll edit all the stuff out in post, but I wanted to make sure that I had captured everything that I could possibly capture, and I knew I could go and edit it later. So because of that, I ran out of storage. Now, I did have time between session 1 and session 2. There's an hour gap in between, but E85, boy, I mean, yeah, it's not efficient, but it burned a lot quicker than I thought. I went up there, left my house with a full tank of gas. By the time I got to the track, it was, I don't know, 3/4 of the way full. And then by the time I ended the first session, I'm at, you know, 1/4 of a tank left, which is just enough gas, E85, to get me to the next, you know, station, because there's not an E85 station anywhere near our on-premise. So I used my hour time to go get gas and duct tape to repair that, you know, temporarily patch that rubbing. But yeah, so I used my time for that, and normally going forward, I will use that time to check my SD cards to make sure I got enough space. But I think I did well enough. I mean, I captured a good amount of video. The cards only cut out on session 2 towards the end, so you didn't really miss too much, but that's a lesson for me. Pack some extra storage cards. I keep the extra batteries in the camera bag. The batteries weren't an issue really, but yeah, I need to make sure that I keep, you know, extra storage cards in the car and the mics in the car. Thing 4, So I need to learn that track. There's 20 turns, as you'll see. I'm gonna put up this picture. The instructor gave me some handouts, and I'll throw those up here in a second. But the first one here is the track, and you can see that the track has got 20 turns in it. And it's a really cool document that he shared with me, because he tells me where all the turns are, in the different flags, green for all clear, yellow for caution, white for emergency vehicle on the track, this other thing for debris, blue for passing, all this stuff, So that's really cool. Speed limits as well for pit lane and for the paddock. So, and look at this one, like turn 11, he's got a whole page on just turn 11. After exiting, turn 10, check for the marshal station. I mean, it's a lot to check for. Check the marshal station to see if evasive action is needed. Check the traffic behind, which I did not do, but I had an instructor with me. But check the traffic behind me. Pick a braking point. Pick a turn-in point. Hit the apex. And that's the other thing. So I always thought the apex was on the outside. It's not. It's on the inside. So if I'm going to, and because I'm looking at the meat of the track and I'm seeing the big turn, and I figure I knew that, I should be accelerating at the apex, but I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the outside of the turn, right, of the C, instead of the inside of where the C is. That's the apex. Did not know that. But so I was really confused on the terminology. And this next page here will show the terminology. He gave me this after our session. So it talks about all the things, understeer, oversteer, track out, rumble strip, what that is, what an apex is, the turn-in, the braking point, trail braking, rotation, reference points. All these things are all on the terminology page, which I will throw up there, right, which you've just seen. And then the fourth page is talking about driving the perfect corner and, when to brake, and a lot of this is going to be just mod the driver kind of stuff, right? Because number one, I need to learn my car, right? Its power band, its brakes, all of those things. And then I need to learn the track, not necessarily in that order, but, there are ways to enter those tracks, those turns, and I need to get better at. First, I need to know my car, and then I can start practicing on braking with my brakes that I have in here. I'm going to keep these brakes until they wear out. But, I have to find my line. And I remember that expression, in the F1 movies and in Gran Turismo, right? But what I now know is finding my line, or finding the line, finding my line is very specific to me and my car. So a Porsche GT3 RS with an experienced driver has a different line than I do currently in this car, okay? So I've got to find my line, which means I got to know at what point this car needs to brake, at which of those, braking areas, right? Because there's like lines. And the slower cars, they can brake probably, well, I don't know. I can't speak for that. I mean, I don't know if they can brake later or later. I mean, it's going to depend on their setup, right? And on their brakes. Not just about the speed that you're going into the turn at. But bottom line is I've got to find my comfort level and find my line for that track with this car. And that's only going to come by training and doing. The instructor suggested, he has like this $10,000 simulator. He said if he could do it again, he'd buy a cheaper one that's only $5,000. But I just spent so much money on this car. I am not doing that. But he did tell me about 2 places that you can rent simulator time. And so there's one out, which is much further, out in San Marcos, which is where Texas State is at. It's not too far, but then I've got one that's way closer up in Pflugerville. It's like 45 minutes or so away. And so I have the phone number and address for those places. I can go in there. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but certainly I can, get experience learning that track, COTA, in their simulator. I don't know if they have a Z06, C6 Z06 I can, be, put in for the simulator, but I'll figure all that out later. But I got to learn that track, and there's so much to it. I mean, everyone says it's a very fast, it's a very technical track. I mean, I'm up there all the time every year at F1 watching the races, and after experiencing it, you know, at not even full acceleration because, you know, I got scared. You know, I can see why accidents happen and when they happen, which is usually on those turns. And so I'm seeing enough wrecks that I'm self-conscious, right? I don't want to wreck this thing and I just got it. So there's that. But it all comes down to comfort level. So, you know, that's kind of thing 5. And then thing 6, you know, well, that's the finding my line piece, right? So there's a lot to learn. The next HPDE event is in March. They haven't opened up registration for it yet, but that gives me time to learn this car, and it gives me time to go to those simulators and learn the track, you know, and I've got 3 months before that happens for the next event. So stay tuned for more video, more Mod the Driver video, more stuff at the track, specifically that track. I am going to take the car up to an 1/8 mile track. It's not too far away. Closest 1/4 mile track is in Dallas. I'll be doing that at some point. And definitely going to get some draggy times, either on the road or at, you know, one of these tracks at some point. 1/8 mile might be hard to get to 130 without running out of room. So I'll figure that out later. But stay tuned. These are all the things that I have planned for this car. Like I said, we got multiple tracks we're going to do: COTA, 1/4 mile, 1/8 mile. I'm going to do a drivability video with this, so you can see how well tuned LMR tuned the car. It's really very streetable, loud and obnoxious, and drives like it's fucking pissed off. But, you know, I think the car is just mad because it sat in the shop since May with no driver, no motor, right? And to say it drives and sounds angry, it's not doing it justice. It sounds pissed the fuck off. I mean, seriously mad, pissed. And I love that, but it also scares me. But that's where I've got to mod the driver. So again, Mod the Driver series. Stay tuned for more interesting video and content. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Trying to grow this channel. Now that I got my car back, you'll be seeing more of this stuff. So if you know anybody that would find this interesting, you know, please forward to them. But I really appreciate all of your continued support thus far. And I will get better. Stay tuned for that. And, you know, it's a new year. Welcome to 2026. Let's start off the new year with a New Year's resolution for all y'all that aren't already tracking your PSAs. You know, prostate cancer is very survivable. If you got to have a cancer, that's the one you want, right? Because if you track your PSAs, you'll recognize the unusual spike. 0 to 4 is normal, but the closer you get to 4, the more on edge you should be, especially if you're seeing a big gap between like 2 and 3. That's a big gap, right? Let alone even if it's under 4. So you want to make sure you stay on top of those numbers. But, you know, check those numbers, check those doctors, and as always, check that box.
And you were one with the core.